Today, the new jobless numbers are out from the Department of Labor, and they're not good. Nearly 10 million jobs lost in 2 weeks. Is it time to panic yet? Also, a Democratic governor admits the coronavirus pandemic is a good opportunity to push a leftist agenda. If only anyone was raising the alarm on that earlier. Also, the state of Vermont orders big box retailers to stop the sale of items the state deems non-essential in their stores. What could possibly go wrong in Vermont? We've got a lot coming up, and it starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sara Gonzales, today joined by conservative commentator Grant Stinchfield, back in the house, looking dapper as usual.
Love being here.
And Jaco Booyens, jack of all trades. I feel like that's how I have to introduce you, or I'll take 5 minutes to say all of the things that you're really good at. So, filmmaker extraordinaire. That is a really nice shirt.
See, both of us are wearing outfits where we have to spread open the jacket to see what the shirt says.
It's true. And really, mine was just that I didn't want to change out of my pajamas when I came to work. And I was like, well, this is by the way, you can find this Baby Lives Matter shirt at Blaze Media, shop.blazemedia.com. I was like, well, this is a Blaze Media shirt, so I have an excuse to just continue wearing the T-shirt on air.
So, by the way, you can find this in my closet. So I made these shirts and I never sold any of them. I just made some.
I'll take one.
I want one.
I should sell them.
Those are great. Yeah. I bet we'll be getting comments now like, tell me where I can buy one. I'll buy one off you, Grant.
Exactly.
That
was the play all along, though.
That's right. No, it wasn't.
Well, now that you mention it, let me tell people where they can find my shirt.
It's an important message. Defend America right now.
It is, especially right now. You're right. The Department of Labor released its weekly jobs numbers today, and no big deal, guys. It's just the highest level of jobless claims in the history of the country. So nothing to see here. There were 3.3 million, almost 3.3 million, I believe, who claimed unemployment 2 weeks ago. And that was by far the largest. And now we've got another 6.6 million for a total of 10 million in 2 weeks. And again, the previous high was 695,000 in 1 week. And that was 1982.
But so look, this is totally different time. Totally different scenario. We went from super great economy to super bad economy overnight.
I mean, we just turned the faucet
off. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, everybody knew the jobless claims were going to be in the millions. You drive down the street, every little store is closed. Of course it is. Dow was up 400-something points today. Yeah. Now it was down yesterday. It's up. I've never seen these wild swings. But no one's surprised by this. This is not a situation where we've got a sick economy for a long time and these numbers keep building. Exactly. This was shut the faucet off, and what do you expect? But those numbers are going to go falling all the way back to where they were as soon as we say, okay, everybody can go back to work. People are going to be so hungry to get out of their houses. Hungry, no pun intended. Go to restaurants, go out, go to the mall, go buy stuff. People will get their jobs back.
Do you think all the jobs come back?
I think a lot of them come back. I think it's going to take a little bit for all of them to come back. Yeah. But I think like a snap of a finger, a large majority of them come back.
Look, that's a statistic I want to see, right? It's just because we are talking about a lot of medium income wage, your servers are going to get their jobs back. When Whataburger opens back up, the server's going to get his job. Maybe not the same guy, but you're going to go get employed again. What I would like to see is in the stimulus package to the corporations, if you look at it, and we crunched numbers the last 2 days, you should be able to see employment rising, even above where we were because of some of the stimulus. I mean, there's a recovery. It's going to be interesting. I think you level off. In the long run, I think you level off. I think before November, we're going to look really good again on the economy.
Just look at the Dow. If the Dow's up 400 and something points on the day when it's announced there's 10 million jobless claims, like it doesn't make any sense. In a normal economy, that should be. But traders have already taken this into account. This isn't a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you look at the stimulus package that they passed, and I mean, if Americans are out of jobs, I don't see them going to restaurants yet to spend the money that they're getting, right? I see them saving it and holding on to it so that they can make sure that they can get by. So how do they put that money back into the economy? Because that's been my worry all along is, well, who's going to be spending this money right now?
Well, I think you make a great point. Human nature is going to take over again, in that everybody is so claustrophobic at the moment, and they may dip into savings, but I think just by nature, life is going to return into its rhythm. Now, I hope the rhythm's changed a little bit because we were so pulled apart as a country. Hopefully this does unite us a little bit, which I haven't seen yet. But I think by nature, people just get back into the rhythm of kids go to school. I pick my breakfast up at, Chick-fil-A in the morning, and so you go. And I think just by nature, you're going to see spending happening, Sarah.
There's another thing to consider here in all of this too, which is middle-class America that go to an office for their job and sit in a cubicle for their job. Many of those people are still being paid. Many people are actually working from home. And I'll tell you, in my situation, I'm blessed. I run trucks. Those are running. Do you know, in my case, I'm actually saving money. I said to my fiance, I said, this is unbelievable. We don't have to go out 5 nights a week to dinner to have a good time.
Yep.
Like we can stay home and just be.
Right.
And this has been nice. It's been like a whole new learning experience for me. And I don't take that away from people that are really suffering. And there are people that are really suffering. But there is this other side of it that, look at my credit card statement, it's not what it was before when I'm going out all the time.
But it's not just about people suffering. It's a great opportunity for families to get back together. We've got families, and you've got a child. So it's just about refocusing and retooling a little bit and say, hey man, the habits that we've had, bad habits, debt was through the roof as well, especially millennial debt through the roof. This is also a kind of a refocus moment. Say, I maybe don't have to do this 4 nights a week, but they're going to spend again. Human nature. They want to buy. They want to spend.
It's true. And some of us.
It's going to happen.
I'm not talking about myself or anything, but I'm just saying maybe some people are bored, stuck on the couch at home, and like overspending on Amazon.
How's QVC doing right now? I mean, is QVC doing well or something like that? Probably should be, right?
I mean, I was so bored the other night. I was like, someone needs to change the password on my Amazon account. I'm buying so much. I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm contributing to the economy. It's fine. We're ordering takeout through Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of these, local businesses that are waiving the delivery fees right now to try to help out these local businesses.
We're doing HelloFresh, and it's amazing because we're cooking.
Yeah. Well, right, but my excuse is like, well, we got to help the local businesses.
Right. Okay.
I don't need to cook if I can help out the local businesses.
You're contributing.
I call it my contribution to America.
How many bottle openers did you buy?
Way too many. I have Christmas presents for years to come. I want to get into Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Now, we've talked extensively on the show, I think probably when both of you have been here previously.
We've discussed this clown before.
We have, but we've also talked about how the maybe this insidious kind of idea that leftists can use the coronavirus to push certain agendas, to take freedoms and liberties away from the people because they're scared. And leftists have seen, oh, good, they're scared. And they'll give us their liberties and freedoms for free. We don't even have to do anything. They'll just hand them over to us. Well, Gavin Newsom, interesting. He was asked, let's see, if he saw potential to use the coronavirus crisis to push for the implementation of a new progressive era. Here was it's a little bit long-winded, but he eventually gets to the point. Here was his answer.
I see this quite substantively through that lens, that equity lens, looking at those folks that never fully recovered. And you look at medium wages for folks coming out of 08, 09 and the Great Recession that haven't fully recovered, even today that are struggling. And so what is going to happen to those folks in this current crisis? And what's the opportunity, to your question, for reimagining a more progressive era as it relates to capitalism? And I'm a capitalist. I'm a small business owner. I'm a job creator. Well, my customers are the job creators. I'm a beneficiary of their support. And that helps build that demand that allows me to hire more people. And so as a former business owner, now governor, I have had that experience and I have that appreciation of the importance of consumer confidence, consumer spending, and a vibrant middle class. And so, yes, forgive me for being long-winded, but absolutely we see this as an opportunity to reshape the way we do business and how we govern And that shouldn't put shivers up the spines of, one party or the other. I think it's an opportunity anew for both parties to come together and meet this moment and really start to think more systemically, not situationally, not just about getting out of this moment, but more sustainably and systemically to consider where we can go together this historic moment if we meet it at a national level and a state and subnational level. So answer is yes.
So what I heard was like, I'm going to distract you with this hand over here and then just sort of slip in this hand over here and you're not going to even see it, because he started getting very long-winded about, I love capitalism. But to answer your question, yes, we really do see this as an opportunity to push our progressive agenda.
That long-windedness is by design, by the way.
Yeah.
He does that to daze and confuse.
Yeah.
And
everyone's eyes glaze over,
right,
and they stop listening.
Oh, he looks like such a nice guy talking. Oh, he's a capitalist. But we're going to move to a new What do you mean new progressive agenda? You're in California, dude.
Exactly.
Like, there's no new progressive agenda. You've already ruined that state. You've destroyed it.
Off the cliff already.
Off the cliff.
Off the cliff, yeah. Cut California and it's going to drift. Look, he's saying, it's the same for the Republicans and for us. No. You know exactly what you want to do in this moment. Benjamin Franklin, right? And I'm going to paraphrase, says a quote. And he says, if you are willing to forfeit liberty for safety, you deserve neither. Mm-hmm. Right? That's California. They have forfeited freedom for quote unquote, government will keep you safe. Government will make sure you got a job. We know how to defend you, Sarah. Mm-hmm. But you got to forfeit your freedom. That's California, and it's because of guys like that. They keep doing that kind of stuff.
I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter, which I know was my first mistake. That's how all horrible, horrible stories begin, is I was talking with someone on Twitter.
It's like the hold my beer comment. Hold my beer, watch this.
Right.
Yeah, but he claims he was a doctor. Take that for what it's worth, because it's Twitter. But, I was making the point that you shouldn't call the police on your neighbors for being outside. Right. If they're abiding by social distancing rules. And
was this your video, by the way?
It was a comment that my video was based off of.
Everyone needs to watch your video, by the way.
Thank you.
It's hilarious.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You can go to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe as well. It's the latest video on there, Suburban Moms versus the Coronavirus. And I would like to say thank you to the moms groups that I am involved in that gave me all of the material for that particular video. But he said, you can have the freedom to go outside, but as a doctor, we should have the freedom to be able to tell you to get out of our hospitals. And I was like, that's not how it works in this country.
How about the oath you took, buddy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can we go back to your oath for a minute?
Well, also, the way that this...
The Doctor's Creed, you remember that
right.
thing of all...
And this guy's probably a liberal, and he probably wants health care for all, and yet he's okay with kicking people out of the hospital.
Right. And the way that this virus is transmitted, you would have no way of knowing. No. If someone, you don't know if you got it from someone at the grocery store, from someone in your household, you have no way of knowing. So, then you've got the doctors who want to restrict people's, right to...
They always have.
Yeah,
These doctors have always gotten into this business. Talk about guns. They wanted to ask questions of their patients of if you have guns in the home. What is your business as my doctor when you have guns in the home?
Exactly.
They want to poke their nose in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they play God now. They play government. How do you take a guy like that seriously, though? I don't
know, but it's terrifying to think that there are doctors out there.
That's the agenda. No, that's the agenda for sure. That they believe that that's their right and their entitlement. But honestly, what they signed up for,
right?
Like any police officer today or any Marine today will tell you, even if I'm out of Marines, the code's the code, man. I'm going to honor it. They're so far removed from reality, Sarah. It shows that I believe we're going to turn this thing around, and then it's going to get real fun. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. November 5th, 6th, 7th through 10th is going to be a fun week. Pop the popcorn.
But do you think, you're saying Trump is reelected in this scenario that you're saying.
Yes.
Do you think, though, what happens if the economy does not come back? Is he still reelected?
Are you asking me if the economy does not come back, does that mean he absolutely does not get elected? Without COVID, yes. With COVID, I don't know. His approval ratings is pretty high on how he's handling COVID, which is why I think there is some overkill from him, but I think he's playing a really good defensive game at the moment, saying, look, I'm going to do everything so that the American people without question know I'm for your safety, right? I think he's still elected.
Grant?
This is backfired on the mainstream media and the Democrats. And though I believe Corona is clearly real, okay, I've come to that understanding, but I watched the media deal in worst case scenario after worst case scenario after worst case scenario. They leave you with a feeling of doom and gloom, like we're never going to come out of this. This is all by design. Same thing with Democratic politicians. They pushed this craziness about COVID-19 all in an effort to derail President Trump and his chances of being reelected. That has backfired here. Yes, Corona is real. Yes, it is dangerous. But your quest to unseat President Trump, you went down a dangerous road, and now that's backfired on you because I think the president's doing everything he can, and every reasonable person that I talk to, even on the left, if they can be reasonable, even them say, this is not the president's fault.
Yeah, come on. And I'll tell you that how I know when they know they've lost a fight is when they start picking the next one. And now moving on to this, well, we got to vote online. Mailer vote. You got to mail in your votes. They're moving there already because they got to pin something on the guy. I mean, we couldn't make Russia stick. We couldn't make an impeachment stick. We couldn't make the virus stick to him where he caused it. Now all of a sudden, it looks like we may pull through. Maybe we pull through it. It's just what then? Well, let's push and extend this thing, prolong it. You saw the DNC moved their convention now. They pushed it out. I believe they're going to try and push this thing out in the media as far as possible to where you get to a point where you almost have to vote by mail or something. That's what they want. And then they want to play funny games.
All right, coming up, speaking of taking your freedoms and liberties and overreach of government, Vermont orders big box retailers to stop selling non-essential items in their stores. We will get into that. But first, you guys have heard me talk about my personal favorite, coffee. America's leading veteran-owned and operated coffee company, Black Rifle. Right now, they are launching a coffee donation campaign to support medical and emergency workers, quarantined military personnel and their families, and others working around the clock to mitigate the national and global impact of COVID-19, coronavirus. These are guys who they're constantly giving back to the communities. They are constantly looking for the communities that need your help the most, and they are focusing on those communities. So for every coffee purchase on blackriflecoffee.com right now, Black Rifle will donate a bag of coffee or a can of its newly released ready-to-drink coffee to medical personnel, first responders, and service members. Now, here's how you can participate. Go to Buy a Bag, Give a Bag initiative at blackriflecoffee.com. You purchase any bag of Black Rifle's roast coffee. They've got all sorts of different roasts. My personal favorite is the double caffeine, which is what gives me the energy to come in here and talk about coronavirus every freaking day. You can also check out Black Rifle Coffee Club, which they deliver your favorite flavors to your home, or I was going to say office, but no one's going into the office anymore. So they'll deliver it to your home. You're not going to have to run out and go to the grocery store. You can stay self-quarantined very safely with Black Rifle Coffee Club. And if you use my discount code, you will even save an additional 20% off of your order. You can purchase it now at blackriflecoffee.com/Y. If you use promo code Y, you will get 20% off, and you can help first responders right now. Pitch in and get delicious coffee. That's a win-win for you. blackriflecoffee.com/Y. Enter promo code Y for 20% off. Vermont's Agency of Commerce and Community Development has ordered all big box retailers, now that's Walmart, Target, Costco, those big name stores that sell a wide array of different products. They are to stop the in-store selling of items the agency has determined to be, quote, non-essential. Now, this comes after many governments have decided people can only go out for for essential activities, may not go out for non-essential activities. One of the essential activities is obviously grocery shopping. So I guess the idea behind this is only allow people, only give people the option of picking up essential items, and they won't be tempted to buy non-essential items. I'm not sure, but stores must close aisles, close portions of the store, or remove items from the floor, and only offer non-essential items via online portals, telephone delivery, or curbside pickup to the extent possible. I feel silly asking this question, Grant, because I feel like I already know what your answer is going to be, but is this an overreach of government?
What do you think? Yeah. I mean, This is outrageous. This is another attempt to control people, and there is no trust. This is the difference between liberals and conservatives.
Absolutely.
Liberals truly believe that government knows what's best for you. Conservatives believe we know what's best for ourselves and our families. I trust the people of Dallas, where I live. I trust the people in Burlington, Vermont, to go keep your social distancing, go out. I went to Home Depot the other day. They got the 6-foot things from going in. No one was breaking the rules.
Right.
Everybody was abiding by the rules to go into Home Depot. What is it their right to tell you what you can and cannot buy? This is outrageous. But again, they're using it. And in some respects, I think this is a test of the public. It's a test to see, how will you comply? Will you just roll over?
Exactly.
And the sad reality is I see a lot of people rolling over, and it's no coincidence. The liberals roll over, and the conservatives say, what?
Yeah, look, you can't say it much better than that, honestly. Huge overreach. And how would you even determine what's essential, what's not? I'm sitting here and thinking about a diabetic.
Yeah.
A diabetic drives past Walmart on his way to CVS, which he's allowed to go to in Vermont because that's essential. And he goes, listen, I need sugar in my body right now. He walks and he goes, for my diabetes, I need to get myself a candy bar or a Coke. They go, that's not essential, sir.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
It's insanity. We started the segment with a California governor saying, this is a good opportunity for us to overreach.
And now we're seeing
Here you
it.
go, Vermont, Bernieville, right? Here we go.
Just to give a little bit of idea what this includes. Now, this includes these specific items, obviously not limited to these specific items, but arts and crafts, beauty supplies, which I argue are essential, not non-essential, carpet and flooring, clothing. I mean, you need clothes, right? Consumer electronics, entertainment, books, movies, music, furniture, home and garden, jewelry, paint, photo services, sports equipment, and toys. I mean, obviously government overreach is government overreach, but the biggest problem I see with this is everything that they're trying to do to limit, it's so subjective. I mean, for me, I'm like, I have to entertain my son, right? Like I need some sports equipment maybe because you're forcing us to stay in the house. I'm not taking him to school. I have to get him out and get exercise. To me, it's essential for my son's mental and physical well-being to make sure he has activities to do outside. And no, I'm not just going to make him play with rocks. So maybe I do need a baseball bat. But I mean, who is to determine that to be essential or non-essential in my particular life? That's where the subjectivity is such a problem.
Look, yes, but you're also in the same time asking every mom to become a homeschool teacher.
Well, yeah.
And got to go get art. I went to
arts
Walmart
and crafts
and I
are
bought foam
huge
core
right
boards.
now.
I bought foam core boards the other day for a school project because all of a sudden I'm teaching.
Did you see Chuck Woolery's tweet? You know the game show guy, Chuck Woolery?
Yeah, he's great.
He said there are parents everywhere now realizing maybe it's not the teacher's fault.
That's a good awakening moment.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good moment.
funny.
Yeah.
That's
no,
true.
but look, these things contradict, but they always do. The left always contradict themselves. I mean, it's overreach. That's it. You said it, done. That's the difference between liberal and conservative in this country.
But Sarah raises the real heart of this point is the who decides factor.
Yeah.
In every one of these, whether we talk about what guns are proper, who gets the guns, where you're going to shop, how you're going to shop, when you can go to, who decides? And if it's a bureaucrat in some office building in some state capital, that's not the person I want deciding for me.
Right. Since we're along the same vein, let's talk about Bill de Blasio, who, New York City mayor, obviously, who there's this big controversy going on right now in New York City over a Christian charity called Samaritan's Purse. They have set up kind of a makeshift hospital. Would that be an accurate depiction, Jaco?
Central Park, yeah.
Right. It's like a little makeshift, it's a tent, a little makeshift hospital to care for patients of coronavirus. And people are pissed. They're mad because, well, I shouldn't say people. I should say the left. The left is mad because it's a Christian charity. And you can't let a Christian charity help because if they're Christian, it cancels out any sort of help that they could be providing. So leftists were very, very up in arms, but not to worry. Bill de Blasio has reassured the panicked progressives that he will be monitoring them for signs of, quote, discrimination because, you know, they are led by Franklin Graham, who hates gay people. And when I say hates gay people, I just mean he believes in the biblical definition of marriage.
Yep.
Interesting to see how that gets spun.
Which as a flat-out self-proclaimed Jesus lover Christian on the show, if I'm worth my salt any day of the week, it means I love everybody and I treat everybody the same. That's actually what our faith stands for. Samaritan's Purse, I know them, I've worked with them, it's a great organization. So the notion that the left wants to push in New York that a gay couple would show up at this hospital in need of corona service and you're going to say, sorry, turn away, go. No, it's the liberal doctor that told you he wants to close the hospital and kick people out.
Right.
Samaritans, this organization is not going to do that.
Well, and I mean, it would be interesting maybe if they had any sort of anecdotal evidence to show that they might do that. They don't.
No.
They don't, Grant.
No, they don't have anecdotal evidence. It's offensive, really. And the only reason why they make accusations like that is because I think they would be the ones turning people away, right? If they're the ones running the hospital, they're the ones turning, oh, you guys are on the Blaze. We're not letting you in the hospital.
Right.
This is how liberals act.
But that's what the accuser does, right? He accuses you of what he would do, right?
Exactly.
The accuser. Yeah, it's a
God
good
bless
point.
these people for doing this. In the middle of Central Park, I mean, it's sad that Central Park has to have makeshift hospitals.
Hospitals in it, yeah.
But I don't care. I don't
helping.
care if they're Muslims that set it up. If you're helping people,
What do you
fine.
But isn't that the real difference when you're looking at the true nature of the left versus the right? Is that you don't care because what you're looking at is the overall good and the help that people are providing. What they're looking at, I mean, take Mike Lindell and his
My Pillow guy, you talk
right.
about.
He's manufacturing 50,000 masks.
Transformed his pillow company into a mask
Totally
factory.
transformed it so that he could help, in this pandemic. And all you heard from the left was, I can't believe he got up during a press conference. Donald Trump let him get up and actually talk about the Bible. That's all they took from it.
Right.
And it's like you're willing to completely overlook all of the good that someone is doing because of a certain affiliation that they have.
But these are the same people that's defending communist China. These are the same people when we took out Soleimani, said, oh, he's a national hero. He equated him on this show to Elvis. They defended a terrorist. I mean, look, if it's anything to needle the right with, they'll do it. They'll go there. They will sell their grandmother if they could, right, to make a point. They don't care. There's no end to these folks, right? Like I said, California's off the cliff. I mean, they'll do it. They'll go. I mean, that's despicable. Somebody wants to, I don't care who it is, to your point. You want to help? God bless you for helping. Who's anybody to attack you for, well, you're not allowed to help. Because I don't like what you stand for. Come on.
And it's bizarre because it's coming at a time where they're constantly accusing the president of not doing enough. Yet, when you see someone who's trying to help, no, we don't want your help.
Which, how disingenuous is that?
Right.
That they're accusing the president of not doing enough. Nancy Pelosi said they're going to start an investigation, more investigation into the president because he's not doing enough. Are you kidding me? Like, do they not understand this backfires on them? That the American people look at them and say, stop.
Apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, it really is. It's
good,
it's going
I guess,
to the
in some
impeachment
respects.
part, too.
Good. I'm glad they don't realize it.
It's true.
They seal their own fate.
I mean, they don't, but you have to wonder, what are they paying attention to? Because you're looking at his approval numbers, and as you guys mentioned earlier in the show, they're higher than they ever have been during this handling of coronavirus. There's nothing to indicate the general American public looks at President Trump's reaction and says he didn't do enough. But what Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff take away from it is, this is where we're going to get him.
Look,
this is where we're finally going to get him.
Schiff, Pelosi, Nadler led them so deep into the woods they can't see the forest from the trees. They don't know what's up, what's down. They are grabbing at straws. They're just throwing stuff. They don't know. They have no vision. There's no peripheral perspective, 30,000-foot view of where we are. It's just attack Trump. Attack Trump. Somehow. And you're right, it doesn't work out for them. But in a way, I like it because the cookie's going to crumble.
They expose themselves.
Yeah.
Which in the end is what they've done over the course of the last 3 years. They've exposed themselves for what they are, phony fake frauds.
When we come back, professors are now pushing back on the pandemic models. They're saying, hey, guys, maybe we should talk about what happens after the lockdowns are lifted. We'll get into that when we come back.
I like that. Phony fake frauds.
Bob Grant. Phony fake frauds.
10 times fast. A recently posted op-ed by two professors. Now there's one from Carnegie Mellon and one from the Molecular Biology Department at the University of Pittsburgh. They are calling for greater honesty in pandemic modeling. That's just what you want to hear when your economy has just gone down the toilet, is that professors are calling for more honesty in the modeling that you used to shut the whole entire economy down. Now, they are saying that this modeling that we have used in America is too often concealing the fact that after lockdowns and other extreme social distancing measures are lifted, the number of infections will go back up. You're not getting rid of the virus itself. You're just extending the amount of time that it takes for the general public to develop a natural immunity to it. It's just more of a slow spread, I guess, which is good for the hospitals, I think, is the argument that you would hear.
Yeah.
There are professors who are saying this is just a delay tactic, and that, I believe, is their words, not mine.
And they think it's going to go up when we stop.
Correct.
So I've often said statistics, when it comes to arguments, statistics are like lampposts for drunks. You can always find one to hold yourself up, right?
Yes.
And so I could point to another study done by two Stanford University professors who said that because so few people have actually been tested, have corona, and have survived, the mortality rate isn't the 2 to 4% that we're seeing, but it's more like 0.06%. Now, what's wrong with that statistic? Nothing in my mind. But then you can find this guy. We can go back and forth and find statistics both ways. The bottom line is I'm telling people, don't watch the mainstream media anymore, because all they're going to tell you is this story and not the study that I just told you about.
Exactly. And they will never tell you that study.
Right.
They're not going to show you silver lining. It's doom and gloom, chicken little, skies falling. In the break, I think this could be a start of a narrative of pushing a reason to get society to accept a prolonged quarantine. To say, well, we don't know what happens when you lift the quarantine, so maybe we need to push it out to June, or where they want it to be, that one study, 18 months or what.
Until they develop a vaccine.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And it's all vaccine. And I'm like, good luck. Sticking no needle in my arm. I mean,
you'll have more people die if you do that.
100%.
Of hunger, starvation, of medical issues.
Exactly.
People have to get out there and make a living at some point.
The economy.
Yeah, I mean, I know we just talked about it, but I really don't know. What do you do if you're an hourly wage employee and you're living paycheck to paycheck? Right now, I had people when I owned lube shops, oil change places, they didn't have credit cards. People do not have credit cards. What in the world do you do if you don't have a credit card right now?
Right.
Yeah, no.
It's frightening. And they want to hold us inside even longer?
Look,
I mean, I have to believe, Yaku, the American public would not stand for being held in that long. But as you pointed out over the break, or one of you did, they've done it this long, and that's shocking to me.
I was surprised.
Not only have they gone along with it, I know many people who were begging for it, who were asking for it, who said we have to extend this.
Yeah, I was surprised when the president extended it by 2 weeks. Now, I got a flood by both sides of absolutely no. We got to get back to work. We got to build this country back up. We got to keep the White House. And then a group saying, no, we need to make sure, right? Extending it again, I would hope, Sarah, that the American people say, no, we're taking the country back. Not happening. We're not extending this thing again. There is a medicine that is working, even in New York City, at that liberal place. We know, hydrochloroquine is working with zithromycin. We know it's working in China. It's working in India. It's working in Australia. It's working all over the world. Right?
But do they know it? Does the American population, the general population, know it? Because the mainstream media doesn't want to report that, because President Trump said it's going to work. And the only thing you hear about that drug in the mainstream media is President Trump dared tell people to take a drug, and he's not a doctor.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that you're hearing.
Well, it didn't come from me. It came from Dr. Burks, and it's been around for 76 years. But they don't know. The American people don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know that chloroquine is working. It's working. Okay, period. It's working, right? And of course it would. It's a pulmonary drug.
It's not working when you drink it in fish tank cleaner. Can we just as people did that.
We did what?
And they blamed it on President Trump.
Wait a minute, what?
They drank fish tank cleaner because it had chloroquine phosphate, I believe,
This is the times when I'm embarrassed by some of my fellow Americans.
didn't hear this?
This is like the story you had with the guys who were using vodka as hand sanitizer, and it only had 30%.
This is like the Tide Pod eating. What? Right? I mean, like, what are they thinking?
It's just a caveat.
You just blew my mind.
President Trump was blamed.
I didn't even know
because
that.
people took fish tank cleaner.
What?
Yes. So I just wanted to give that as an aside. Sorry, Yaku.
No, maybe you should get sick if you drink fish tank cleaner. I mean, what are you thinking?
Grant, do the American people tolerate more, let's say,
if they're drinking fish tank cleaner, they probably tolerate it.
If they drink fish tank cleaner, they ain't here anymore. So they don't care.
I think this is going to be, again, it's going to be split down to party lines again.
Really?
You're going to see liberals are going to say, oh, well, the government tells us we've got to stay in, and so they must be right. So we've got to all be good, obedient citizens and stay in. You know how I've decided, I always felt I was pretty good about telling the difference between liberals and conservatives when I'm in the mall, just how they dress, how they walk, how they act. Now they give themselves away with the stupid surgical masks in the grocery store. Do they understand that the surgical masks in the grocery store do not protect you from anything? Those surgical masks are not protecting you from breathing anything in, yet they're walking around the grocery store with a stupid mask on, thinking they're safe. I promise you, every one of those people are liberals. I promise you.
Yeah, I love this guy who's speaking his mind. You got to. Show us that shirt again, just one more time. Come on. Defend America. That's what you're doing. Look, sanity has to get back into the building. Good gracious. I mean, we got to get sanity back. We have to just get back to reality again. I'll say this. You've, and I like it when you do accuse me of wearing a tinfoil hat. I'll say this. If
say it in an endearing way,
you
not
do,
an accusatory way.
I receive it as love. It's love. It's endearing. It's your random act of kindness to me. But let me give you another opportunity to do so, to love on me. Okay. If it was as bad enough to shut the world down, then why are the average Joe not talking about his family being impacted directly? Why are we not seeing people reporting about help us? People are falling. They're falling. The opposite is happening. The people are reporting. Why are we shutting down? Why can't
all I see on the news is medical professionals in New York City crying about how busy they are. And look, I get they're busy and I know they're on the front lines. But all I see are the medical professionals. And I think they've even worked themselves up into a frenzy. And I'm not seeing the huge numbers of personal stories that you normally see at times of crisis like this, which still leaves me skeptical of the numbers. Now, I know people die from this. I'm convinced of it. And I do think you have to be careful, especially if you have underlying diseases, diabetes, or if you're fat or whatever. But it's true. You see that? That was a little piece in 60 Minutes that they just glossed over, by the way. Yeah. One of the nurses says, oh, by the way, everybody that's in here with corona that's on ventilators are fat or obese.
I was going to say, I don't think she said
obese.
fat.
Yeah, no, God forbid they wouldn't say that. Or obese. Right over it. They don't even say it because God forbid. You know what? Well, that's information I need to know. Because I'm not fat, and if I have less of a chance of getting corona because I'm out running in my neighborhood every day and doing push-ups in my driveway, well, I'm going to keep doing it.
Look, go study Dr. Shiva. We're talking about compromised immune systems here, okay? Compromised immune systems. And may I just throw a caveat in there? There's a lot happening behind the scenes, okay? President Trump knows what he's doing. There's a lot happening. We saw what he just deployed some people on drug busts and things. Just wait. You'll see. There's some things coming.
All right. Back in a minute.
Teaser.
I know. Tell us more.
Do you know Dr. Shiva? Reports.
The Chinese city of Shenzhen is reportedly banning people from eating dogs and cats now as part of an effort to clamp down on the wet markets that obviously are believed to have caused the coronavirus outbreak in China. They said that the ban on eating dogs and cats will come into force on May 1st. Now, they're saying, obviously, dogs and cats have a much closer relationship with humans than all other animals, and, all the other countries are doing it, so why not? Remains to be seen whether or not they are actually going to follow through with this, because as we know, China's wet markets are back open. They are back open. I mean, we didn't learn anything from what recently just happened. Let's open the wet markets back up.
I've never been to China, and I've always wanted to go. I think it'd be a fascinating place to go. I'm not going to the. If I even go to the wet markets, I'm not trying anything. If they're giving samples out, I'm not doing it.
You're not like Costco?
No.
You're not going to wait in line with your cart for the sample?
I'm not.
I can't get over the brutality of, you see these videos from the wet markets and they're like cooking dogs alive.
They're still alive, yeah.
Alive.
I mean, I saw
And
that too.
It's hard for me.
Like it's a lobster, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't even cook a lobster.
No.
I can't do it. I eat meat, but
The screams of the lobster.
Yeah, I can't do it. And I felt really bad because I had to explain to my son one time because he was like, "What do you mean?"
Did you tell him it was just the air coming out, or was it the real screams?
Well, I mean, he just couldn't get over the fact that you cook them while they're still alive.
Oh, the poor lobsters.
You just burn them, and I was like, God, yeah, that is really brutal, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll eat it, but I'm just not going to participate in.
So what about?
part.
I mean, this isn't getting off. But what about? I mean, I eat meat. I'm a freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex when it comes to meat. All I do is eat meat, and it's it's harsh the way they kill cows.
Well, we got
but
incredible humane practices now, and if you eat,
Are they following them? Though?
are they following? But I'll tell you this. Back to your point, and I'd love to have that conversation with you about Wagyu and what they're massaging the cows now with Wagyu and all these things. They're not going to change culture in China. Mm-hmm. You're not going to change culture overnight. It's not happening. Period. They're lying. They'll eat cats and dogs and birds and who knows what. They'll continue to do that. Those wet markets, you're not going to ever convince me, I've been there, that they're going to turn culture around. No.
I mean, but do you think that it would be even at least a step in the right direction if they ate, let's just say they eat the dogs and cats, but they're not doing it, they're not cooking it on a street corner.
Yeah, of course.
Right. I mean, because then at least there are guidelines, there are sanitary measures that are are taken. At least we can know that there's a little bit less.
I will say
risk.
this, and look, I'm not a huge animal rights guy, but I love dogs.
Yeah.
I don't really like cats, but I'm not going to do anything to a cat.
Right.
But if I saw somebody cooking a dog while it's alive, I swear I'm going to throat punch them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's why I can't fathom it.
But it's cultural, though.
Yeah.
And are you going to turn their culture? Of course. But this is like.
So my culture says throat punch them.
Yes.
Because that's what's happening.
Yes.
Right.
No, you do it
That's
here.
word, Jaco.
Yeah. Look, again, you're dealing with a country, a regime that doesn't care about polluting the air, killing people, killing their own people, cooking dogs on the side, and obviously getting the whole world sick. They don't care. They'll cover it up. So I believe they go back as usual.
Yeah. All right. Back in a minute.
Yeah, in this country, you don't bring that stuff here. It's like what I always say about Sharia law.
Yeah.
You go do what you want to do to kids.
All right, before we go, have a little announcement I need to make. I posted on social media, but for those who missed it or perhaps do not follow me on social media, you should. That's the announcement. Just kidding. My husband and I are expecting a little one. Now, this is not a quarantine fail. This was before the coronavirus quarantine measures were put forth, but September 2020 is going to be an interesting time for us. We're adding to our family.
We celebrate life.
If anyone would have, we do. However, I will just say, if you were to pick a time when you cannot drink any alcohol, don't pick the middle of a pandemic. It's not ideal. It's not an ideal time to not be able to drink.
Are you going to have a glass of wine? Like some moms do one glass of wine.
I can't do it.
You can't do it.
I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it because I'm one of those warriors that's like, but what if?
Which I'm going to defend you now.
Okay.
Before this hits, when you watch her video, like we told you to watch on you, she's not actually drinking that wine. It was a prop.
It was a prop, and I will also say, just in case it was the alcohol removed wine.
See?
Just in
So
case.
I didn't
So
drink
don't
it,
even
and
go
it was,
there. Don't even go there.
It's called FRE. Yeah. Well, we have beers on Fridays too, and for months now, I've had the beer with the top on. Go back and check it. I never took a drink. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.